Have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all
All right, welcome to the March 8th, what is today, the 19th? 20th, March 20th, I looked at the wrong date here. March 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order and we'll ask for a roll call by staff.
Commissioner Dan Zeisen. Commissioner Finter.
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez. Commissioner Lawrence. Commissioner Layton. Commissioner Layton. She can't hear us.
Can you hear us, Commissioner Layton?
Commissioner Millhaven.
Here.
Commissioner Toma.
Here.
Commissioner Whitney. Commissioner Whitney. Vice Chair Curley.
Here.
Chairman Lindblom.
Here.
Chairman, we do have a quorum.
All right. Do we have any of the commissioners that are here for the first time? Or has everybody been, okay, I just couldn't remember and I missed one or two. Welcome everybody, thank you for joining us. We'll go ahead and read the announcements from our legal announcements and then we'll go from there. This meeting has been noticed in accordance with the open meeting law under Arizona Revised Statute section 38-431. Agendas are available within 24 hours of each meeting in the Maricopa County Planning and Development Office and are also available on the Planning and Development website 1 week prior to the hearing at www.maricopa.gov/planning. The staff reports prepared for each agenda item shall become a part of the permanent record for each case. With respect to this hearing process, cases will be considered in the order they appear on the agenda unless otherwise agreed to by the commission. For each case, the applicant will be given a set amount of time to present. Anyone wishing to speak on a particular case shall fill out a speaker's card for in-person attendance or raise your hand within GoToWebinar. The amount of time allowed for speaking shall be at the discretion of the commission chair. Staff will provide the chairman with the names of persons who have registered and noted a desire to comment, and those registered participants who have raised their hand. The chairman will call on each named participant one at a time. The chairman will conduct the hybrid in-person and virtual public hearing according to the bylaws and according to the rules established by the chairman regarding public comment. Votes will be done by roll call vote only. The chairman will verbally identify the specific members responsible for all motions and seconds. All right. We're looking at the minutes of February 20th, 2025 zipper meeting. If I'm hearing, are there any comments on those or corrections? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and approve those. And we do not have a consent agenda, so we will go into regular agenda case number case Z240023, the Cadora Desert Hills, if staff would like to present on that case.
Chairman Lindblom, Members Commission. Agenda item 1 is for KZ 240023, zone change modification of conditions request for the Cadora Desert Hills subdivision located at the northwest corner of Desert Hills Drive and 7th Avenue, southeast of Anthem in Supervisory District 3. A separate administrative subdivision plat related to this application has also been filed under case S240006. Next slide. This site was originally rezoned in March of 2008, a few months before the financial crisis. The original intention for the subdivision, which remains the case with this application, is to buffer the denser Anthem development from the rural state communities that comprise Desert Hills. The primary goal of this application is to strip out certain equestrian elements that were part of the original zoning to create a more traditional subdivision. Staff would note that this does not preclude equestrian elements from being included as part of future development, but that such elements would no longer be mandated under the statutory zoning. It should also be noted that the total number of lots within the subdivision is not being modified by this application. Next slide. Since the original approval of the site zoning, there have been several changes to the Rural 43 zoning district that have liberalized certain development standards. This application seeks to combine the existing RUPD with modern zoning standards. Finally, it should be noted that if the board does not approve this application, that the existing RUPD zoning would still apply and that the applicant would be able to develop a subdivision under the zoning as an administrative item without further public hearings. Staff is recommending the commission adopt a motion recommending the Board of Supervisors approve this case. Staff believes the removal of the equestrian elements brings the development more in line with its position between Anthem and Desert Hills. There does not appear to be any adverse impacts or increases in site density created by this development as compared to what is already allowed by right. Finally, staff would note the change to condition D1 that was outlined in the handout memo that was provided to the commission this week. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Landis. Does the commission have any questions at this time for staff? All right, hearing none, we'll ask the applicant if they want to present the case.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Bill Lally with Tiffany and Bosco, 2525 East Camelback Road. Staff did a great job of presenting the case. Thank you very much. I do have a presentation. I'm happy to go through a few slides if need be. It is a pretty straightforward case. It's not really technically a rezoning, meaning from one land use district to a new district. It is staying in the R43 land use category. We are, in a sense, modifying a few stipulations. There were two emails, I think, that came to staff, and maybe I'll just address those two emails as a way of starting the conversation without going through a large presentation. I know staff did a great job. One of the emails really talked about increased traffic in the area, and I think there was a little bit of confusion as to what the rezoning. When folks drive by, they see the big white sign and it says rezoning on it. I think a lot of times their concern is, oh, it's being a rezone case. So it's important to note that the existing zoning today has 56 lots. The proposed zoning has 56 lots. So any sort of traffic concerns that existed in 2008 are not being changed at all. The roads in the area, there are two major roadways that will handle the traffic. McDOT has reviewed this. There is zero traffic enhancements here or change to the area. Secondly, I think there was an email, a little bit longer email, that talked about the greater connection between this parcel and Anthem. And as you can see just from the aerial, and I think what staff indicated is there was a misconception of whether or not this parcel was intended to and or was part of the master plan of Anthem, which would have then required a bridge across Skunk Creek, would allow for traffic and Anthem to come through, across the bridge, through the site, and into Desert Hills, probably with a concern again of traffic. So neither one of those are really of real concern. There is no bridge that's contemplated over Skunk Creek. We did kind of show that the zoning case for Anthem was a complete different zoning case than was for this. So there is no concern about leakage of traffic. With that, Mr. Chairman and members, be happy to go into any more detail if necessary.
All right, thank you. Does the commission have any questions for the applicant at this time? Hearing none, we'll move into, thank you. We'll move into in-person speakers. We'll start with those. Are there any registered online, Nadia?
Nobody online indicating they'd wish to speak.
Okay, and I have no public comment that I know of that wants to be made. So we will.
Commissioner, sorry, Mary just raised.
Thank you.
I did have one person raise their hand actually just right now.
Oh, okay, let's go ahead and do that. Glad you caught that.
Yes. Mary, I unmuted you, so if you can unmute on your end, please, so that we could hear you.
Mary, if you're talking, we cannot hear you. Just to make sure you're not talking.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can now. There you go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it can be a little challenging sometimes. So glad you figured it out.
Yep, well, thank you. So my question is,
Mary, just real quick, can you just state your name for the record?
sure,
yeah.
sure. My name is Mary Hewells. I live on the corner of 7th Avenue and Desert Hills Drive.
Great.
And my question is, my first question is, where is the entrance going to be into this development? The Desert Hill side, the 7th Avenue side? I do disagree with McDOT as far as the traffic. We do have quite a bit of traffic coming down Desert Hills Drive because we have a water station on Desert Hills Drive. So we have a numerous amount of trucks that come down with water trucks for the homeowners in Desert Hills that don't have water. My other question that I have is, where are they going to get their water from for this development? We are mostly on wells out here.
Okay. And typically I'll give a couple minutes to each person to kind of state what their issues are. So if there's anything else you want to say at this time, we'll let you say it, and then we'll work to get those answers resolved for you. But it's not really a dialogue back and forth. Is there any other comments that you have on this, why this isn't a good land use, or concerns that you have outside of those two questions, which we will have the applicant answer?
Those are my main two questions right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we appreciate you calling in and asking about that. Is there any other comments from the public, either online or there's none here, correct?
Nobody else indicating they'd like.
All right, we'll close the public forum part and ask the applicant to come back up and answer those questions for I believe it was Mary who asked that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Bill Lally for the applicant. What I have on the screen today is the proposed site plan for Toll Brothers. The site plan is actually to the left is north. So Desert Hills is on to the right, and you'll see the main access point onto Desert Hills. So there was a question about where is the access point coming from. You can also see there's a secondary access point to the north as well, but the primary access is off of Desert Hills.
Okay.
The second question was, how are we being served? Although these are Rule 43 lots and they could all do septics, we are being served by EPCOR water. EPCOR water is literally right down the street, as she mentioned.
And that will be the water side of it, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Any other, thank you for answering those. Is there any other questions, or I guess I'll go ahead and open this up for comments amongst the commission if there's any that have concerns or questions.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Curley. Yeah, I mean, I'm supportive of it. Just, given it's not a rezone, it's, the number of lots, as I understand, aren't being modified. This area is in need of housing, and there's definitely a housing shortage, especially given all the drivers with TSMC, and just looking at the site plan and the table that was presented before, the minimum lot size for these homes is, fairly large in my opinion. And so overall, I think it's a great use, and I'll be supportive of it.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments, or I'll entertain a motion?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Toma. I was I think for the record in the email, there were a lot of concerns around traffic in general, but it's my understanding that when they go to get an actual permit to develop this, that there'll be a traffic study, and that will address any of those concerns later.
Correct. All right, thank you. I think for clarity on motion as well, there was one email, the agenda item number 1 that we got, that talked about providing a total half width of 40 feet right away instead of a 65.
Chairman Lindenbaum, that's correct.
Okay, and that will be a condition that needs to be part of the motion. Is that correct?
Chairman Lindenbaum, that's correct.
All right, thank you. Any other comments, or I'll entertain a motion?
This is Commissioner Curley. I will entertain a motion to recommend approval of this case as staff has presented, and I apologize. I'm with the added condition.
It's condition D is what it is.
Okay. So yeah, I'll,
Is that the right
recommend-
term?
Chairman Lindblom, it's condition D1 that was modified by the handout memo.
Thank you. D1.
Okay. So I'll recommend approval of this as staff has presented with the addition of the condition D1.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Curley for approval, adding condition D1, making that change. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. It's
All
Warren.
right. Commissioner Toma for the second. Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. Rosalie?
Commissioner Finter,
Yes.
Commissioner Layton, are you on the line? Commissioner Millhaven,
Yes.
Commissioner Toma,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitney.
Can you hear me?
We
Yes.
can.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Curley,
Yes.
Chairman Lindblom.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion recommending approval by a vote of 6-0.
Thank you very much. Are there any other items on the agenda by staff that I'm hearing none? We'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you everyone for attending. Appreciate it.
You.